Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnell, my man G Witt, Mr. J Loops. Going on, fellas?
Tighten up, baby.
Happy New Year 2026. Happy New Year, y'all. Man, I hope y'all had a good holiday season. Hope y'all was able to catch the last of the Titans for the 2025 season, fellas. Coming to an end. Finally, it seemed like it. I guess the worse you are, that seems like the longer it takes for the season to get over. But
that's true.
Season is to the end. Titans fall 41-7 to the Jags today, dropping them to 3-14. Cam Ward, of course, suffers a grade 3 AC joint sprain. If that sounds familiar, that is the Will Levis injury that he had. So hopefully it's not as bad, but we'll see, and we'll see the next couple of days. But anyway, fellas, I'm gonna get into a different format tonight, but I'm gonna hit up. I want to see if you had anything from today's game, because I think we found a diamond today. But anyway, G Witt, anything from the game today? I know it was hard to look at, but maybe you had a few little items you want to pick out.
Man, that game was, with the exception of the first drive, that game was horrible to look at, to be totally honest. I made it through the third quarter, and after that, I was like, okay, I just can't watch this no more. So, I mean, because it was just bad football all the way around. It was good seeing Big Jeff get his 11th sack, which again proved that he'd been balling out all season. Again, I've been looking at this whole season ever since the Raider game. We've been in preseason mode, so overall. Again, I like seeing our rookie quarterbacks, but somebody's got to explain something to me. And this is my third point, and I thought about this. When are we ever going to have a season where we don't have our secondary decimated by injuries?
That's a great question.
And it's been like that even since the Vrabel years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the weirdest thing. We can never keep a healthy secondary. It's the craziest thing. I thought about that today. I'm like, doggone it, these guys that are out here, we don't even know who they are.
Right. That's true.
And it was just weird. I mean, I thought Robinson did okay in the secondary. And James Williams, of course, I thought he had a couple of good plays as well as a LB. But, man, when are we going to get a healthy secondary that could stay, I'm going to say, fairly healthy throughout the season? Because that hasn't happened in forever.
Yeah. After Byard left, McCrary was the healthiest one we had there for a while, but of course he's gone. So, Jay Lee, what you got, man?
So I just put a bow on the season. You had two rookie wide receivers that are probably, you want them to be wide receiver 2 and 3 on your team, not one like they were thrust into. Both go over, if I'm not mistaken, 500 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns for the year. 400 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns for the year. So I mean that's good there. I thought you got to see, which he was thrust into the spotlight. And if you look at the All-22, I thought he held his own for a part of it. But that's the rookie guard, Slater.
Yeah.
Slater didn't do too bad, all things considering. And that was against the Jaguars played their start. They played to win the game all the way to 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, he was going against their number one defense. And I thought he held his own, which is good to see, because I'm under the mindset, and I mentioned it maybe last week, that I think you bring 4 out of 5 offensive linemen back. I think you bring everybody back except Zeitler, and you would love for your red shirt guard that you had this year that you drafted in the 5th round to take that right guard spot and be able to go through the entire offseason with the offensive line intact. So I thought he played well. And then to put a bow on it, I thought that you saw. You got to give Big Jeff some help, man. I'm just so torn on the D. And we can say we will about the DBs. I get it. And to Denard's credit, again, we gave him enough credit. He's tried.
He's done a good job.
You can mask a lot of that if you're able to get pressure. And you saw it again for 2 weeks in a row. the first play of the game.
Yep.
I feel like Jacksonville was like, we're going to take a chance and single team you. And Big Jeff was like, it changed after that.
He was like, thank you.
I don't know if you saw another single one-on-one.
He didn't.
After that. So you've got to get him an edge rusher. Now, I say that with the caveat being, just like we've said, you need to get a number one wide receiver. You need a number one edge because I think you've got depth that we were able to build throughout the season. Again, my guy finished with at least a half a sack in the last 4 games or 5 games.
Yep.
Jalen Harrell. We're talking about a 7th-round pick from 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So you've got some depth pieces there. They can rush the passer. You just need a true number one. But and my last thing, I give a bonus one. Callahan should have been fired again today. Allen is his backup quarterback. And for all those folks that was wanting to maybe sit Cam at first, Cam finished with almost more yards than Allen had playing the whole game.
Man, look. So that was my first point.
that was so sad, man. I was like, good Lord, dude. You've been in the league for how long?
He's played 19 games. And so and I don't know what his career number is, maybe 10. Is it 10 years? I think maybe something like that.
9 or 10 it's close. Yeah. It's up there.
Yeah. So yeah, I that was my first point, is that you saw today, just like we talked about last week, how you need a number one wide receiver, you need a backup quarterback. Yes. You need a backup quarterback. I'm gonna say this. Michael Robinson, I really like him. Mm-hmm. I really do. I thought he played well today. He was matched up on Baker a bunch, one-on-one, and I thought he held his own. And so I think, you might, because he's a 4.3 guy, right? He's got speed. Yes, he's got makeup speed. He bit on the out and up, but he had the makeup speed to make the recovery. I really liked his game today, and I liked him last week too. And maybe we got something there. And I forgot to give my man a shout out last week, Truman Jones. I don't know if y'all been watching Truman Jones, man. Truman Jones has been getting some tackles in the backfield.
I've been watching because I've been thinking his name was something different the whole year because of number 56.
I've been like, man, who is this guy? Truman Jones. Truman Jones is, hey, as bad as the season is, we might have found some young guys to add as depth pieces going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've already mentioned Jeff and his career high sacks, and I think you saw double team because he almost took Sunshine's head off. Yeah. So they was like, no more of that. No more of that. And then my final one is, I don't even see him on here, Eddie Gray. So Eddie Gray, for the last couple of weeks, he's been asking about a 4-3 defense with all 3 linebackers on the field. And you saw that today.
Yep.
Yes.
And Jay Lou, I'm surprised you didn't mention your boy, because James Williams.
I was saving it for defense, so go ahead and get it out.
Because Mr. Washington knows who James Williams is.
Yes, he does.
He almost knocked him out.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
James Williams was hitting people today. And so, man, I was like, that is beautiful.
He looked pretty good in the 4-3 playing the rush party.
Yeah.
You can tell that, for somebody with his athleticism, all they told him to do was rush the passer and go. And I thought he played well in that role today.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. So Virgil asked about Cam Short. It is a grade 3 AC joint sprain. Similar to Will Levis. We don't know about how bad it is, but there's 2 ways of healing. Of course, just sitting and icing and therapy, or you could have surgery. It just depends on how bad it is. We don't know how bad it is.
You'll find out more. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You'll find out more probably, if not tomorrow, I would expect Tuesday, because Tuesday is when tomorrow's clean out day. Tuesday, you should hear from, not Brinker, but Borgonzi.
Yeah.
And I think you'll hear more then. If it requires surgery, it wouldn't shock me if surgery is within the next week or so.
Yeah.
Because you want it to be within the next week or so, just so he's healed up. For everybody freaking out about it and all, I look at his injury, yes, the same. And Will Levis, to separate a little bit, Will Levis been dealing with the injury for a while.
2 seasons.
2 seasons. He just put it off and put it off. Cam, I think for something we said about him earlier in the year, his work ethic and what's up here, you don't need to throw the football to work on your footwork. And that's part of what he has to work on a lot. So I'm not as worried about it. Yes, on the throwing shoulder, and you hate to see it. I mean, it was bound to happen. We kept talking about he played every snap. That's all you heard for all week long.
Yeah, you knew it was
first drive. He gets knocked out, but I think it could have been worst case. I think because it could have been the collarbone or anything like that broken. So at least nothing's broken. It's a joint, and I just think we've got the right quarterback who probably will attack the rehab better than most.
Don't think it was a dirty play, Darius, but I will go back up to Will's comment. He says they wait all season to call the design QB run. They decided to run a meeting. Man, I was asking the same thing when I saw it. I was like, oh boy. But that this just goes to show you that they were not utilizing all his talents either.
That's true.
Throughout the season. And so, fellas, what I want to do tonight, because as we go into the off season, and I mentioned it before on previous show, that this is going to be a different off season for us. We normally don't have a lot to talk about. We'll come back a few hitting that, but we're gonna be on it this off season because there's a lot of things happening. Of course, the coach, free agency, and all those things. So tonight, I just want to get your overall thoughts, and I'll start with you, J. Lou, on the 2025 offense and where are the needs.
So first need for me would be true wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have somebody that can create separation and take the top off the defense's fear.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we just have, you can go cover zero and man up against our receivers right now and not afraid. And DK's not as polished. He can be that, that gadget guy to get on the field, to stretch the field and use his speed on go routes, but he's not. You need a true polished number one. You saw it last week with Chris Olave. You just look around our division alone. You've got Nico Collins, who I think is a true number one for what he does in Houston. You got Brian Thomas Jr. and, to be honest, you got Jacoby Meyer. You've got 2 or 3 in Jacksonville that fit that offense that you've got to respect. And then the same with Indy. So I think that's one step you got to get. I look at running back. I think you need a game-changing speed type back that you don't have in the backfield. Somebody that can hit the hole and take a 4-yard run, and you look up at his 15 or 20. We're missing that. And then you need tight end. And I know, and Chig thanked the whole city of Nashville on Twitter after the game. He's an impending free agent.
Right.
I would like to see him back. I think if you ask me my gut feeling here today, right after the season ends, I think Borgonzium let him test the waters. Yeah. You probably could slap the transition tag on him, where you get first rights or be able to try to challenge that
to match it.
To match it. So you possibly could see that, but I think they go a different route simply because you want somebody who can maybe be a little bit better of a blocker. Because I think you see a lot more 12 personnel, and then continue to build that. We mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier on the defensive side of the ball. I think as quiet as it's kept on the offensive side of the ball, you've got to bring back somebody like Odu. You got to bring back some of these tackles and guards. I would love to see them. Now, I know he got hurt today, but I'd love to see them. You need a veteran presence. I'd love to see them re-sign Corey Levin.
Yeah.
The man played guard. He can play center. He can fill in spots.
Yeah. Played tackle last week.
Exactly. Played tackle. So I think as crazy as it sounds, and again, I think offensive line is the least of your concerns right now, with one exception being right guard, because I think you're going to have to replace guard. I'm under the mindset you go ahead and bring back Cushenberry, because if you just look at the last 6 to 7 weeks of the offensive line play, they finally gelled, they got healthy, played together, and we didn't see that at the beginning of the year. We figured it would take half the season anyway, especially coming off injury. So offensive line would be my least concern. I would look at the skill playmakers to help this offense.
That's funny you say that, because the offensive line has been so bad. And now it's not as much of a concern as some other positions. But go ahead, G-Witt.
No, and I'll do mine a little bit different, because as opposed to what J. Lou just said, I do think they still have to address the offensive line, and I'm still overly concerned about the tackle positions on both sides. That they made that crazy comment about J.C. Latham being the most penalized tackle in the league, not in our division, but in the league. And I'm like, okay, this can't keep happening. So, I'm not saying you have to grab anybody from in the first few rounds or whatever, but you need to go find that diamond in the rough that's going to be able to come in and play. And that's on both sides, on the left side and the right side. I'm with you on Slater coming in and just starting to play at the right guard position. I agree about the number one receiver. Definitely need that. And, I've been saying it for the past, I said it before even Derrick Henry left. We need another running back that's going to be a strong running back that's going to be able to fill in because, again, eventually, as we saw today, when you don't have a passing game, that running game got shut down really well. So I think they definitely need a running back that's, I'm not so worried about the long yardage, but it's got to be able to get those 4 or 5 yard bursts, and especially when you got the lead in the game and you're trying to milk the clock. You got to have a running back that's going to be able to get those tough yards and keep the clock moving and keep you getting first downs. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, and you've already said it. We definitely got to go find a backup quarterback.
For sure. If today didn't tell you anything else about that position, I saw that guy throwing a lot of medicine balls today. Hospital balls, right?
Medicine balls, panic throws, all of that. I was like, what are you doing?
It was duck hunt out there.
So let me see. I'm gonna get a couple of comments in. Mikey Jones, man. I'm just gonna bring that up. We're gonna bring it up, Mikey Jones. We're gonna bring it up.
Mikey Jones been looking at our text thread.
Yeah, man. We're gonna bring it up in a minute because you make a great point, my friend. You make a great point. We were just talking about the other day. We'll get to our free agent portion. Roddy says, what is our take on letting the GM take full control on the roster next? I think it's great. You understand now alignment, and there's finally some alignment, so you don't have any questions. But go ahead, Jay, because I know this is your wheelhouse.
I think it was already happening.
It was.
I know that everybody. If you go back and listen to Borgonzi's presser right at the trade deadline, he kind of hinted at that. I think this was Amy's way of cleaning up a mess they had made when they brought him in to kind of deal with Rand. And Brinker is not the football guy. He's the behind-the-scenes football guy. Let me put it that way. When it comes to the salary cap, the structure, the analytics, and all that, that's him. That's his wheelhouse. So I think it's quite. Think about the timing of the report coming out. We talking about Amy sending the report that she could have did on Monday or Tuesday. The reason you saw that come on the typical Friday news dump is because go back to the Jaguars last year. Only reason Liam Cohen is their coach is because he needed that GM fired because they didn't want that GM that they had. So I think this was put out to let potential candidates know Borgonzi is your guy. This is who we got to deal with. And you heard it on the national broadcast. I think it was Jay Glazer today on Fox. Borgonzi is well respected around the league. If you go back to the cycle when we hired him, nobody thought we would hire him. That was the best candidate coming out, and nobody thought we would get him, and we got him. So I think you put that out to kind of, one, just level set and let everybody know what the structure is like, but two, allow your potential candidates to know, hey, you ain't got to worry about the dysfunction that you've heard about.
Exactly. The front office is set.
So just a few things on the offense you guys had already mentioned, and you said it earlier, with DK and Ayo Manor going over 400 yards and 40 receptions, 4 touchdowns. That's great. You also had 2 tight ends. Chig went over 50 receptions, and Gunner goes over 40 receptions. And so you've got some weapons there. Like you said, I hope they sign Chig back, but more than likely, if the market level sets it and it's a little bit too expensive, but we got the money. I mean, you got the money, and him and Gunner, I think they make a great duo for this offense and what we want to see. And then of course the receiver is key. Still think they might need a look at the left tackle position with his name has slipped my mind. Dan Moore. But he actually came on pretty well, and so he might be okay there. I like the Jackson Slater got on the field today as well. Got some reps. He looked pretty good. He looked like he had a strike. He kind of reminded me of Peter a little bit. And so we'll see what happens there. But the offense, the progression was great as the season went along. Couldn't put it together for several reasons, but I think we all are on the same page with Cam. He's great. There's some things he needs to work on as well, and then adding a few more pieces around him should should get this offense on track and the right coach as well.
Yeah.
Defense, G-Wit, what about on that side of the ball, sir?
Oh, God.
Jameis Winston on line one for backup. Yeah. He's better than Brandon Allen.
That's true. That's true. I can't deny that.
Jay Lou was screaming for Jameis last year. This year, I mean.
Thank you. Yes. The G-Wit, before you go about defense, you just sit up here and told us you couldn't watch it after the third quarter because it was terrible. You would have watched Jameis the whole game.
This is true. This is true.
Just so you can see the post game interview.
Oh, yeah. If nothing else, and since you mentioned the offense, I will say this. I'm the pessimist guy, but it kind of just glooms and dooms. Like it just figures, man. We never go into the offseason with things set, and now we got to wait to find out about Cam and all of this. So I'm hoping that is not as bad as him needing surgery, but it's something that he could just rehab and get back in shape with it and everything. Because again, like you guys mentioned, with the 3 4th round picks with Gunner, DK, and Ellick, man, you got some growth there that can happen real quick. So,
yeah.
You know, that I'm looking forward to seeing what happened with them. But on the defensive side of the ball, man, oh God, where is it? We're okay. We got us a safety in Kevin Winston Jr. We just need him to come back and play healthy. We got to get some help with Big Jeff on the line, and especially at edge. And I'm going to say this, and I will say this about my boy T. Sweat. T. Sweat really hurt my feelings this year. He really did, because I really expected a lot more out of him than what actually happened. And he got off to such a slow start, and then the injury happened. Mm-hmm. That was a huge disappointment. So to me, he has to come back a lot stronger than what he played this year, as far as I'm concerned. But still, Big Jeff needs some help. I mean, because like you said, they said, okay, we're gonna just have one guy block him on the first play, on the first drive, and you saw what happened. He blew that up real quick, just like he did against the Saints, and he was double team and triple team from then on. And if you got one guy getting double team every play, somebody else has got to win.
Somebody got to win. That's right.
Somebody else has got to win. And right now, that's the thing that we're missing out on. We need help there. We still need help at linebacker. But more importantly, man, we just need to find some good secondary pieces, some good corners.
They can stay healthy.
and again, like I said earlier, they can stay healthy. I don't know what it is. It's like that. We've had a dark cloud over the secondary for I don't know how long, man. And it's just driving me crazy that we cannot keep a secondary that stays healthy throughout the year. I mean, it never happens. I mean, because put it like this, they re-signed Hooker. I didn't expect him to play the whole season because he always gets hurt.
Right.
And so, but I thought Denard had his crew out there, especially once Winston Jr. got into a flow and everything was playing well. And then he ends up getting hurt. Woods gets hurt. And Brown gets hurt. I mean, everybody got hurt. It just drives me crazy. So we definitely need, on the defensive side of the ball, we need help at all three levels. Yeah. How they're going to do that, I don't know. But to you guys' point, you've been screaming about it all year. Definitely got to find a good edge rusher to go along with Femi on the other side.
There's a gentleman that's in the college football playoffs right now. His last name's Bain. That's all I'm saying. That dude is a monster. But J. Lou, go ahead. But I want to say this before you go. I would clap my hands for Denard today because he finally blitzed. He didn't do it enough, but he brought something today.
Yes, he did.
And they got home.
They did.
And I was impressed. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It don't matter win or lose or draw. You go hit the quarterback a few times, and they might think about playing him for the rest of the game. Because I was like, why they still got him in there? He gonna get hurt.
Yes.
Because the offensive line was getting banged up. Right. And so, yeah. But anyway, J. Lou, defense, man, what you got?
DBs. Now again, you've got to. you're going to draft one, maybe two. You're going to spend some money in free agents because you got the most free agency. So, but if you ask me to rank my importance, I'm going to rank edge rusher first, then DB.
Okay.
Because I think, and I'm just looking around the league. Yes, you need a shutdown corner here or there. Yes, I get it. But if you get the right head coach or DC with the right scheme, they can mask a lot for your DBs. And to talk about the injuries just for a second, if you played for the Titans as a DB, you're cursed. Because the two DBs that we traded this year both finished on IR, if I'm not mistaken. So
Roger played last week.
Oh, did he come back? Okay, Rogers came back.
He was running somebody down and almost tackled him, but they scored. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. But yeah, I would go edge rusher first because I think if you can generate pressure, it can mask DB play. And I just looked at the game last night, and granted the 49ers didn't come out with the victory, but they ain't really got no shutdown corners, and that defense has been hurt. But I think from the pressure scheme you see and how they run their complex cover four, I mean everybody in the league runs that almost. It can work. I think edge rusher would be first. And again, in that fourth position, you're in a prime position to where this is where once you get the coaching staff in here and the entire staff, I really want to be a fly on the wall in the draft prep room because you're in a prime position. You got to take a prime blue chipper at 4. You need one on either side of the ball. Where do you flip the coin and land? Because you've got some top talent. I mean, now granted, if you look at the draft overall, this ain't a top-heavy draft. I think a lot of draft analysts have already put out it's 32 picks in the first round. They've only given like 10 to 11 prospects, 11 prospects a first round draft grade. So you've got depth there, particularly when it comes to edge rusher. There's a lot of depth that's going to be in here, so I wouldn't shock me them seeing them get 2 of those. Because I do think, and again, depending on the coaching staff, I think you see them try to build the DB section through free agency, bringing in some veterans to bring some younger guys along. But I agree with linebacker. You can always upgrade Cody Barton. I'm good with Cedric Gray because he's young. He's going into his third year technically, but I would say it's second because I was saying this is like a rookie year for him. So you got him. You still got James Williams that you're bringing along. We saw him spell in the Chiefs game that he might have played linebacker and filled in pretty good. So you can always upgrade there and get a better than Cody Barton. And there's ways to get out of his contract. But I definitely, if I'm looking at it, I'm the GM, I'm going D-line and edge first. You build around your superstar, and I'm building around Jeff. Yeah. Because if you can build around Jeff and create pressure, that'll take care of the back end.
I was going to say that, man, that, you don't have to have a shutdown corner. I mean, you would love to have, but if you get pressure on the quarterback, I'm going to tell you, it makes a world of difference.
I'll tell you, I agree with you both. I'm like, no, you don't need a shutdown corner, but if you can get some good pressure on the quarterback, but I will say this also, and this goes back to what you guys have been saying, on and off, since we know we're going to have to hire a new coach. Find a DC that's going to stress tackling. And I'm being aggressive tackling. Yes. Because I am so sick and tired of seeing guys. I mean, let's put it like this. All the top defenses that are in the playoffs, you see them. They see ball, they tackle.
Yes.
They're not waiting for a guy to make a move. They're not squatting. They're going in there making the tackle.
Right.
And I am so sick of the Titans always having these DBs who lets a guy catch the ball or get out in space and doesn't make a good form tackle. It drives me nuts. And whether it's an offensive head coach, or get a good DC, defensive head coach, let's get somebody in here that's going to get this team to tackling well. Because right now that hasn't happened in a long time.
Let's see. Gorilla Ted said he knew it. He knew it that they was gonna get this guy hurt. They try to let him run the ball. I know it, man. We said it too. Couldn't believe it. Charles White, man, appreciate you joining us, man. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I know you out there on the far, far West Coast.
Yeah.
He said, let's hope Baltimore wins tonight. He hates rooting for him, but we need that for. Yeah, you so right, man.
When you add in, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you add in compensatory picks and all that, you're talking about a 20 to 24 pick range between going for that fourth pick from a fifth.
And then Deion said something wrong with the Tennessee water, so we get out these.
It must be.
But yeah, so the defense, like you guys said, build just like you attacked the offensive line last year. You got to build in the trenches in this offseason. You've got to add some more linebacker depth, and then definitely secondary is a huge need. But again, if you got a front that can bring pressure, if you can got a DC that can scheme up some things, and I'm not saying Denard can't because he schemed up well for what he had, then you can compensate for that not having that shutdown guy, and rely on the skill set of your guys. Because again, like we've been saying the last 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 weeks, coaching is a big deal. You just look at it. You look, I point at the 49ers because their whole defense is hurt. And I know they got beat the other night. They've been exposed the last couple of weeks against the run game. But you still see them out there flying to the ball, making tackles. They're in the playoffs. They were competing for the number 1 seed. Didn't fall their way. And so, but still, all those things. And my son is a Seahawks fan. He's over here flexing. Get out of here.
They're gonna be one and done.
So but you build in the trenches first, man, because if you can win at the line of scrimmage, y'all know it makes a whole difference in the football game. That's where it starts. And so let's and then we don't have to speak on special teams because I know the only thing they got to do is keep Bones.
That's it. Because I think that everything is up for discussion with the exception of returner.
Yes.
That's true.
I don't even need to see DK in the preseason. I can go ahead and tell you newsflash. You won't see DK in the preseason.
Oh, no.
They'll be working on other people back there. But I think you bring in a kicker and punter.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you bring in both. You can definitely upgrade at both positions there. And I think you let Bones kind of get, he came in and selected what he wanted, some big leg guys, a punter that's been 15 years and been able to angle that he's worked with before. I think now you try to get young at those positions with still those same qualities that Bones wants.
By the way, that kicker for Ole Miss, what's his status? He a sophomore, junior, or what?
I'd have to look it up. I can't remember.
I think he's a sophomore.
Okay. Because he got a nice leg.
Yeah. So Virgil, you're right, because and we talked about this last week with Mason. Mason has found a home.
He has.
He is a gunner.
He is a gunner.
He is a gunner, and he does it quite well.
Yes. Yeah. He's feisty.
He is very feisty.
Very feisty.
He better get off that sideline of the opposing team. It's like he talking too much smack on the wrong sideline.
Yeah.
But so it goes to coaching. Yeah, Travis said New England, Chicago, Jacksonville. Jacksonville won 3 games last year.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. And so coaching. And they added some players, Jacoby Myers, they added some folks, Mr. Washington, they added some pieces on defense, but they brought in a coach that unlocked Sunshine.
Look at Sunshine.
They unlocked Trevor Lawrence. Finally, somebody unlocked him because he's supposed to have been this great hope ever since he's been in the league, and he's been Daniel Jones level. And so now, this year, you could almost consider him as an MVP candidate. I don't know if they have. I don't think they have, but
I don't think they have either.
But
he deserves some votes. I'll give you that.
Oh, he does. I agree. I agree. I'll be the first one to say it because I give him a hard time on this show.
Always have, man.
Yeah, I always have.
Hey, it is what it is.
That's right. All right. Okay, fellas. So here we go. As we go to the last part of the show, which coach would you like to see? Which coach would you like to see? Say, Lou, I think it's your turn on this topic first.
Oh, yeah.
So if I go veteran coach, retread, I would go Mike McCarthy, Robert Saleh, and as much as folks have been hating him the past couple of days, I'd be open to discussion Matt Nagy.
Wow.
Go back and look at Nagy's record in Chicago
with Trubisky,
and with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And just look at his overall resume.
But what happened to him?
His overall resume ain't far off from a coach that we just fired.
Well, that's true because he won 10 games 3 years in a row.
Yeah. So, but he'd be third on the list if those were my top three. If you're talking about new blood, give me Kubiak out of Seattle.
That's a good one.
Give me him out of Seattle. Or anybody out of that Rams tree as well. Again,
yes, definitely.
I want somebody that's gonna come in and you mentioned it earlier about G Witt saying T Sweat was disappointing to him, and we talk about JC. I want whoever the coach is, especially if you get one of these younger guys, I want them to come in and take hold of the team, because I think if you get JC and Sweat and a couple other guys on the Jeff Simmons type of attacking the offseason, it unlocks potential in them that they just haven't tapped in. And we said it that play. And you heard Arden Key mention it when they were talking about the lack of leadership. This is a different breed of individual you deal with this generation of folks. Cam's different. Cam's on an atmosphere by himself. But if they can all buy in like that, and it starts at the top, I think you went too far to the extreme with Callahan from what you heard with Vrabel. And I think Vrabel, if you look at how he's running New England, now definitely learned some lessons from being here and change. But so I think you got to see that in the next coach. But I don't care about offense or defensive side. I will say this: the one thing I don't want is, if it's offense, I don't want the head coach to be the offensive play caller.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Let it go.
Defense, I'm fine if it's the defensive head coach and they want to call plays. I think I'm fine with that, because if you look around the league, majority of your defensive head coach, even my guy down there with the Texans, he lets his offensive coordinator run the show. So that's really the head coach down there. So and he focuses on the defense, but still has his hands on total team. So defensive head coach, I'm good with them calling the plays, but offensive head coach, I need you to run the entire team.
Just from a Bears fan that's on the show. Thank you, Carlton, for joining. But he says not Nagy. So he knows firsthand the experience with Nagy. See, Dion said he don't want any unproven first-time head coaches. Need a proven head coach for Cam. See, Darius says Kevin. He says Mike McCarthy and Robert Saleh. So, G Witt, what's your wish list?
Is he before G Witt go? Is Darius talking about Kevin Stefanski?
Yes.
Yeah. Now that
you would take Kevin Stefanski as well?
Oh, I'd entertain that.
Okay.
I'd entertain that.
So let me ask you this before G Witt goes. So for the non-success they've had in Cleveland, who catches the blame for that? The last, of course, they had a defense 2 years ago, one of the best in the league, and they had Deshaun Watson healthy playing, but they lose to the Texans on the road and get knocked out of the playoffs. Where's the blame to go there? I'm just asking.
I'm gonna say the front office.
I say so this is why I say Stefanski. Because and maybe I'm too close to it living here in Nashville. I just don't think, for all they say Amy is dysfunction, I don't think she's as dysfunction as Cleveland.
This is true.
Well, I would agree with you on that.
And I think a lot of Stefanski's issues, even this year,
front office,
I think it's the top down. So I would be willing to entertain him. I would be willing to entertain if one of these gentlemen playing right now lost and they ended up on the unemployment line. I would entertain one of them two that's playing tonight, because that's the rumor. So and again, I think the job is attractive. You've got a young quarterback. You got money. Stadium. You've got no state taxes, which means a lot in the NFL like that. So it's an attractive job to land a good coach.
So hold on, G Witt. I want to answer this one about Mr. Kingsbury. I'm going to say no, Will, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he is not a good coach. Example, here's a sample size. He was in Arizona. You remember? And me and J. Lou was on the Midweek Heat talking about this.
Yes.
He made some of the worst coaching decisions I've ever seen in my life. He had a quarterback to run his system, and he never won anything. Now, I'm not saying nobody deserves a second chance. I just don't want them here because we're not at the point, and I have to quote my man G Witt. We can't wait any longer for a winner to produce in Tennessee. G Witt has been saying that for longer. Y'all haven't been care. He said, I ain't sent through another 3-13, 3-14. And doggone if we didn't get it this year.
We got to get it, man. He back to them. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you back them, G Witt.
Hey, I mean,
he did too.
He back them.
I'm gonna say this though, man. In all honesty, I'm with you, J. Lou. I could consider Stefanski because, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he the head coach with Baker?
Yes. I think he had young Baker.
Yeah, he had young Baker.
Oh yeah. He did.
Yeah, and they. Like you said, the thing that screwed up Cleveland was the front office when they signed Deshaun Watson to that $238 million guaranteed contract
for that.
Yes,
and then also, and I'm just gonna say this about Baker because I like his attitude as a quarterback and everything, but Baker forgets that he's a quarterback. Sometimes he wants to go out and hit people, and that's why he ends up hurt a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have no problems if they interview Stefanski. I'm a little leery about Nagy. I'm just not sure. I didn't watch Chicago enough but I know he had Mitch Trubisky, and I know they did some struggles and everything. I definitely, and I'm just on the outside looking in on this. I just am not impressed with Mike McCarthy. Mm. I saw him in Dallas. I think he's a good offensive coordinator, but he's a horrible game manager. And it doesn't make sense to me how he manages and I mean, not only in the playoffs, but in the regular season. He mismanaged a lot of games in Dallas.
The clock for real.
Yeah. I'm not beyond Salah or even like, Jay Lou mentioned when we was tweeting back and forth, Van Joseph. Ooh. Both of them scare me. But it's just weird. I'm not sure who to get, but like I said, Stefanski wouldn't bother me too much because I think he's a good play caller. He just doesn't have anything to work with right now, especially at the quarterback position. Right. Nagy, I would like to see if he could do. Like I said, he did some good things with Trubisky, but I don't know how he would do coming in here because he's still going to be rebuilding. Like I said, Salah, if Salah comes here, I know the defense is going to be good. If he hires a good offensive coordinator, my question with him is going to be the same with Van Joseph. Can you manage the game? Mm-hmm. That's the thing I've been saying the whole time. You got to find somebody who's going to be able to manage the game, hire some good coordinators and manage the game. Because that is the exact same thing I said about Vrabel when we hired him. Mm-hmm. I said, because if he hires good coordinators, can he manage the game? And Vrabel proved he can manage the game. So,
man, breaking news: Raheem Morris just got fired from the Falcons.
Yes, and before you go in, the name I forgot that was in my top 3 outside of Kubiak is Chris Shula.
Yeah, he was on my list.
Okay, good. I was like, I knew I forgot
Chris Shula. He would be one defensive-minded guy. Plays with McVay, so knows he's gonna have to get a OC to run I'm gonna say an explosive offense.
Yeah.
Look what the Rams have done. And Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong.
He is.
They draft well. They found Puka out of BYU, right? They had Cooper Kupp before that, and all these guys they bring in. Again, here's to your point earlier. Here's a team that doesn't have a shutdown corner. Could you name their secondary?
Nope.
You can't because they're not big time guys, but they play a good system.
They traded for Roger because they needed secondary help.
That's right. Mr. Verse on the line of scrimmage and the other guy, the tackle, I think he's been hurt from Florida State. Yeah. And so I'm like, coaching. Okay. Deion said, you just hurt his heart with McCarthy comment there.
It's the truth.
But it's the truth. If it's the truth, then I got to swallow that pill. I mean, so you go back to that year, it might have been the last year the Cowboys was in the playoffs. No, it wasn't last year, but it was last year. He coached the playoffs, coached the Cowboys against the Packers.
Yeah.
And boy, he mismanaged that game as far as time, worse than anything I ever seen.
Is that the game? Is that the game where he had Zeke and like snapping?
No. That was against San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah. That was
both Frisco games.
Yeah.
He was horrible in both of those. Although I cut him some slack, Dak didn't help him out at all.
No, but you can't run a play in the middle of the field. Don't have no time. I think you'll get it down and spike the ball. That was the official setting the ball controversy.
Yeah, that was the one in Dallas. Yeah. That one I was like, I can't believe this.
Yeah. And so again, if you want to give a guy a second chance, a guy that's got the experience calling the plays, also being a head coach, but doesn't really do good on the time management, you got to have a Bones on your team. Because Bones,
Bones worked with him.
He
worked with him.
But I will say one thing about McCarthy. The other thing that's a drawback against him. McCarthy doesn't like running the ball. He does not. He didn't do it in Green Bay, and he really didn't do it in Dallas.
But you know what he did? He went to the playoffs every year.
He did.
I'm not disputing that
because I'm there with you. That's the one thing about it is he can almost he's almost good for 9-10 in the AFC South. He can almost be good for 10 wins. But I agree with you. It's the he will have the bonehead time management
always.
For a long time.
So he's with Dallas. What 2 years ago?
No, last year. This is
that's right.
His contract was up this time last year.
So I'm not beating a dead horse here, but Tony Pollard had 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. So I mean, he probably don't run the ball enough. I agree with you on that, but he does run it. So he's got to do that. But anyway, so here's my list. Chris Shula was one. Robert Saleh. I'm gonna keep saying I love Robert Saleh. Brian Flores, if he can get a good OC. I want to go defensive minded because the result. Look, Mike McDonald, Seattle.
It's phenomenal.
Yep.
Because he got Kubiak.
Yep.
Right.
I think Flores is just blackballed. I don't think Flores is going to get another shot because I think the owners are colluding against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the Miami part. I can have you as a coordinator, but I'm not letting you be my head man. Because there's no way. And quiet as it's kept, if I'm not mistaken. His contract's up in Minnesota too.
It is.
They mentioned that guy today, and I forgot his name. 29 years old for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're DC.
Yeah.
Huh?
They're DC.
No, he's the offensive coordinator. The DC.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of young guys. I don't have a problem with McCarthy, but the only reason I say but. Is because I believe that Cam needs a more today coach.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
Today's offense, right? I love the Rams offense. If you look what they do. I love Shanahan might be the most brilliant guy.
Man.
As far as offense goes. I love the type of offense he runs, those different types. He creates motions that you've never even seen before.
Oh, yeah.
Right? and both of those offenses you just named, they run the ball. Like they want to be running first teams.
They do.
They
run the ball. You see it with Ben Johnson in Chicago. He runs the ball.
Two-headed monster.
They had over 200 yards combined with both running backs.
You got to run the ball, baby.
So you have to run the ball. And so out of that McVay coaching tree, Shanahan coaching tree, if we can get somebody out of that wheelhouse, that's who I would like to go with out of that. And so free agents, and it goes back to Mikey Jones. And so we was texting about this the other day. Breece Hall, if that was a comparison, not on the same level, don't get me wrong, don't jump on me. But after CMC, Breece Hall is the next all-around back. Bijan Robinson. I forgot about Bijan, CMC, and then Breece Hall. Breece Hall is number 3. But if Breece Hall is available, Mikey Jones, if he's still on here, I'm all with it, man. Bring him here.
That's what I told you. Mikey Jones was in our text string. I literally texted the other day. I said, if there's one person I'm overpaying for in free agency, and I text both of them, Breece Hall, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
And He's a good dynamic back, third down back, can catch the ball and run.
He's 0-2. He's what, 220?
Yes.
He's a good size, got good hands, can block.
Yep.
And so
and still relatively young, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. He's only been in the league like what, 4 or 5 years?
4 years. I think this is his contract's ended, rookie contract's ended.
Yeah. And you pair him with a good quarterback.
We got that.
He do a lot for you.
We got that. So we just need that and the number one receiver. But yeah, so free agents. So I was looking at an article, and we'll hit this real quick. And they were, of course, they're talking about. I think TD wrote the majority of it, but then there was another guy. They said, look for the Titans to make a big splash by signing. And then I forgot his name, George Pickens from Dallas.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
And I know Jay Lou likes that.
I do, and that
problem.
If that happens,
then they go
defense. That lets me know that it is Borgonzi running the show, because I think when you hear some of these character type comments come out, I think that might have been Brinker and him going back and forth. Because if you think Borgonzi was on the Chiefs and they drafted a wide receiver who had red flags everywhere, and they went with him because he could play ball.
Rasheed Rice,
yes. Not only him, Tyreek Hill as well.
Tyreek Hill, that's right.
So Pickens, and I think you've got the right. Again, you would need the right coach to control him, but I think you got the right. Jeff Simmons is still in your locker room. That him and Cam, I think, could control Pickens, and that would be that you're talking about setting your offense apart. He allows those young guys that we just talked about. If you got Alec Mariner going up against somebody's third DB, I like my chances with him going against the third DB.
You saw him big body a ball today.
Yes.
So he can do that.
I think Pickens is phenomenal talent. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Can do it all. I think the one thing you have to deal with Pickens, in all honesty, he's typical of some receivers where if I'm not getting the ball, I'm not putting forth maximum effort on my route tree and everything. So you got to do that. But what I will say is this. I think the difference could be with him is that we have a quarterback that probably behind the scenes would get in his face and say, look, dude, run the route. Because Cam is that type of guy. He ain't gonna do it publicly.
Right.
But I think he's the type of guy that will say something to you in the locker room or say something to you in the huddle, around his teammates and everything. And I think that's one thing, because he's never had that at either Dallas or Pittsburgh.
Nah.
So I think here he might get that. And as you said, like Big Jeff, I think he would make a big difference as well. But like I said, Jeff's got enough on his plate trying to get T Sweat to actually play ball on a consistent basis. So, but yeah, I think he's got a quarterback that could drive him to do the things he need to do.
And so Breece Hall, 5'11", 217. This was his fourth season. So they didn't pick up his fifth-year contract.
Yeah.
And so he is a free agent. And just looking at his numbers, played 16 games the last 2 years, over 1,000 this year. Now, I mean, you got to just think about this offense, right, that he's been on. But, y'all know. We've talked about it at nausea. And he had 57 receptions last year, 76 the year before, 36 this year. So, he's out there
with the
if
Jets.
They want to go. Yeah, with the Jets, right?
Yeah,
the Jets. See, Pickens, Breece Hall. Of course, it just depends. Like you said, I think they'll go secondary as well. I have to look at that list and see who's out there. You could see a free agent edge, another one, if they don't decide to keep Jahad Ward. I do think Arden Key is gone. Somebody else mentioned, I forgot who it was in the chat about. Ridley's gone. They said it in the game today, possibly, or even in that article that I was reading.
Yeah.
The question is, do they sign Chig back, and then how many of the current offensive linemen, as far as the depth pieces, come back as well? And so a lot to be talked about, man, coming up for us in the offseason. But here's my last thing, man, and we'll sign off. You are the GM. You're on the clock.
That's my job.
At number 4, who do you go with? If You sign George Pickens. Let's say that happens, right? Let's say Breece Hall happens, right? Number 4. Who do you pick?
G Witt's first.
That's wrong.
G Witt's first.
In all honesty, there's one of 2 players, and I can't remember the second one. Of course, the first one is Bain out of Miami. There was another guy. I cannot remember his name.
What school?
I'm trying to remember. Because I got to see a little bit of. I can't. For some reason, Texas popping in my mind, but I know
Bailey. David Bailey.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So
is my go?
It is your go. Go ahead. You chomping at the bit.
So if I am the GM and I'm 4th on the clock,
and you got a receiver,
and I got
you got a number 1, and you got another. You got an all-around running back.
I'm trading back between 8 and 10. And I'm going to pass on Bain as much as it pains me, and I'm taking Bailey from Texas Tech because he'll fall in that range. I'm still trading back, looking at the board and looking at who's I got the land between 8 and 10, so that's the Saints, the Chiefs, or the Bengals. I'm taking somebody's number 1 this year and next year, and possibly adding on a 2. And I'm taking Texas Tech. I'm taking the David Bailey from Texas Tech.
I like it.
I can't argue with that.
I like that. I like that trade back.
Yeah, I know I play GM over here.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I can't even top that. That's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice, really, because I can see that happening. Because okay, Bain is the number 1 edge guy, but Bailey's not too far from that, right? Bailey's not too far from that. If Reese falls, maybe, right? And so. Yeah. I can see that happening. If it depends on the free agent haul that they can bring in and who they sign. If they do decide to take a chance on Pickens, then I think you can see something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that. I mean, the edge groups this year are pretty stout. There's 8, maybe 8 to 10 that are really, I mean, like you said, there's not many first round grades, but they're definitely second round grades. And I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, really.
The mock draft I use has 7 of them in the first round.
7 edge?
7 edge players in the first round.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you see a run on edge players. I mean, you got to get after the quarterback.
Well, so the guy that's really making his of course, Bain, of course, he's moving up the charts, right?
Yeah.
As long as they stay in. Bailey he was a one and done as far as the playoff goes. You saw him during the season. Falk out of Auburn, he's a good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
But Ugalele from Oregon,
that
guy's moving up the charts too. He's a big dude.
That
strip sack and fumble, that was pretty impressive. Well, thank y'all again for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Let's see. Ed McKinney, man, appreciate you joining. He says Reese is no different than Femi. We transition from middle linebacker to edge rush. That's a good point.
I agree.
It's a good point. It says, but Bailey can't defend the run. He sucks at it. That's Dion. Okay, Dion. Dion is down in that area, so he probably sees a lot of the games more than we do. So
my only pushback on that question, if you look at the edge rushers in college, which of them like that are defending the run well? Because you deal with a lot more spread.
I was about to say that.
Bailey's a prime example of Texas Tech because you're dealing with nothing but spread offenses against who you're playing against. So I think that because I'm trying to think of like edge rushers that just came in this year. James Pierce Jr. finished with 10 sacks, by the way, a quiet 10 sacks for Atlanta. He had back-to-back sacks today. I don't think you would think he'd defend the run well. The guy that went, who went to New York? Who was the number?
Carter.
Abdul Carter. I'm not sure how he is against the run, especially with his transition. So I hear you what you say on that, Dion. I think the caveat to this defense is you add him to Jeff and Sweat. They can defend the run, and you just need him to pass rush. I think you'll see it come together.
I will say this, and then we'll get ready to end the show. Watch out for Mr. Babineau from New York Giants, edge guy. They're a little deep at the edge.
They are.
He could be a guy that's a casualty, be released. And that might be your answer to the edge.
It might be answer.
But anyway, thank y'all again for joining us, man, for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G Witt, J. Lou,
yes,
Titans in the 2025 season. Great, Dion, man, we love you, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Dion, we need you. We need Dion to have his alerts on for these off-season shows.
Yes, because they might not be on Sunday every time. Dion.
Yeah,
because as things pop up, we had to drop a short here there, and we've known to do that here lately. So yeah, but man, thank y'all for joining us. Check us out next time. We'll be back. We'll look out for the information. We'll put it out there as soon as something happens with the coach. Man, be looking out because we're gonna pop on. We're gonna pop on as things start happening. We'll pop on and do a show. If we do a show the next Sunday, we'll come on and we'll let you know. Look out for the information. We'll drop it on Facebook and YouTube, and we're on Twitch as well, and all those type of things. But again, thank y'all for joining us, man. Another season of Tennessee Titans 2025 year. Titans fall to 3-14. Off season is underway. I don't know if I've ever been more excited for off season than I have now. So thank y'all again, man. Check us out next time. Look out for the information. We out here. Peace.
Peace.